Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma, and this is what I call my morning musings. We are looking at the motif of martyr vindication at the coming of the Lord as taught by Jesus in his parables. It's found in Matthew chapter 21, it's found in Matthew 22, it's found in Luke chapter 18. And that motif, as I've shared with you, goes all the way back to the Old Testament, comes through the Old Testament, always posited for the last days, and more specifically, Israel's last days, according to Deuteronomy chapter 32. And what I've been sharing with you, is how Jesus, not only in his parabolic teaching, but then how the New Testament writers in the epistles pick up what Jesus promised, i.e., martyr vindication at his coming, and how this doctrine and how this motif permeates the rest of the New Testament. Jesus said that martyr vindication was coming in a little while. It was coming quickly. It would not be a long time off. It's not quickly in some relativized, subjective, elastic, plastic, Play-Doh time reference. It was to be quickly. We'll prove that in an upcoming session. But I want you to notice, just as we shared with you, that James contains the motif of suffering and the promise of vindication at the soon coming of the Lord. Peter does as well in 1 Peter. In 1 Peter, he writes to those, and he said they were eagerly awaiting their salvation at the coming of the Lord that was about to take place. But, he said, it's necessary that you suffer for a little while. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 12. Brethren, do not think it strange concerning the fiery trial, and the New King James says, that is to befall you, but that's an unhappy translation. It is literally, do not think it strange concerning the fiery trial that is among you. That is in your midst already. Which proves, by the way, the early date of the book of Revelation. Here's Peter writing to the churches of Asia, 1 Peter 1 and following. John wrote to the churches of Asia. In Revelation chapter 3, 9 and following, Jesus said to those churches, I will keep you from the hour of trial that is about to come on the whole world. Peter, writing to the same people said, brethren, don't think it's strange concerning the fiery trial that is in your midst. So in Revelation 3, Jesus predicted the coming of those trials and persecutions, but he'd keep the Philadelphians from it. And in Peter, those fiery trials have come. Prophecy, fulfillment. Now, since Revelation is prophecy, it was written before 1 Peter. 1 Peter was definitely written before the fall of Jerusalem in AD 70. I develop all of that in my book, Who is This Babylon? But anyway, watch this. Don't think it strange concerning the fiery trial that is in your midst, but rather rejoice to the extent that you're partakers of the sufferings of Christ. And when his glory is revealed, you will be glad with exceeding joy. Here's sufferings. Here's martyr vindication. Now look at 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 9. Resist the devil, being steadfast in faith, knowing that the same sufferings, that is, that you are experiencing, are being experienced by your brotherhood in the world. Now here's what's critical about this verse. 1 Peter 5 verse 9. That suffering, he said, is being perfected in the brethren around the world. The word that is used there conveys the idea of what Jesus said in Matthew chapter 23 when he said to Israel, fill up then the measure of your father's guilt. How? By persecuting, Jesus' followers, filling up the measure of their suffering. Here's Peter writing in the same generation, but later, saying to the churches in Asia that their suffering, along with the suffering of their brethren throughout the world, was reaching its goal, reaching its fullness. Matthew 23 was being fulfilled. Notice what Peter then says. Christ was ready, Greek word hitoimos, which means not only morally prepared, but temporally ready to judge the living and the dead. 1 Peter 4, verse 7, the end of all things literally has drawn near. 1 Peter 4, verse 17, the time, literally, the appointed time, has come for the judgment. Not just some judgment. The appointed time for the judgment has come. Folks, how much clearer could it be? That martyr vindication is inseparably bound to the doctrine of the coming of the Lord, the judgment of the living and the dead, and Peter affirmed, 1 Peter chapter 1, 1 Peter chapter 4, that time for the coming of the Lord at the end of all things to reveal glory in those suffering martyrs had drawn near. The time had come. Don't forget, you really need to get my book, We Shall Meet Him in the Air, The Wedding of the King of Kings. Go to my website, eschatology.org or bibleprophecy.com. Order the book. Include a note that says you saw the offer on YouTube or Facebook. I'll refund your shipping, and I will include, well, I shipped it off yesterday, I will include a CD of my 2012 presentation at Criswell College in Dallas, Texas, on martyr vindication and the end of the millennium. Fantastic material. It will change the way you look at the coming of the Lord. Thanks so much for joining me. Hey, hope you have a fantastic weekend. God bless. We'll see you on Monday. You be safe.